Hey Flosstube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen, this is Bear, and this is my fiber web where I talk about cross stitch and sometimes knitting and crochet. If you are new here, or maybe you are coming back after a while, I'm just wrapping up a month-long event for October where I worked on a different project every day of the month. Most of those were new starts. If you did not follow along with that, today is going to be a recap video of everything I did this month. So this will be a normal Flosstube format video, making this, I believe, Flosstube number 25 for me. I will go through what I got finished, the WIPs that I worked on, all my new starts, and plans for November, which I already filmed a couple days ago. And the rest of this might also be filmed sort of piecemeal throughout the day because it's Halloween. Trick-or-treating is happening after school. My 2-year-old has mostly stopped taking a nap. I don't know if he's going to, so he is awake. Also, I don't know if I've ever mentioned, my husband works from home, so like when I am filming, I'm not just like ignoring my toddler, in case anyone was concerned about him. Okay, so I wanted to say thank you for everyone who did follow along with my October event. I filmed clips every single day of the month, but I clumped them together into groups of 3 days to release on YouTube. And I had a lot of fun doing that. I don't know if this is common in other industries, but in software engineering, as a job, it's common to have a daily stand-up meeting where everyone just goes around the circle and says what they did yesterday, what they're working on today, and like if they're blocked by anything. So it kind of just felt natural to check in every day with where I was at, what I was immediately doing. And it's easier to fit in those little clips in the day with 3 kids. So I'm not sure how I'm going to go forward with my channel. I might try to do more of that, at least until my toddler starts preschool, which is happening in December. And then I will have time. So I don't know. Things are sort of changing, as they always are when you have kids. Okay, so let's get into the stitching. I'm going to start with my finishes. Also, real quick before that, I mentioned it's Halloween. It is a cloudy, rainy, breezy, well, more than breezy. It's like wind gusts today. And the lighting is weird. So we're going to see how this goes. But if it's getting like noticeably darker, it's just really cloudy. Okay. So let's start with the things I finished this month. I'm going to go through these in order. I'm not sure if anything else will be in order. I had 7 finishes this month. 5 of those were starts and finishes. 2 of them were WIPs that I carried in to October from previous. The first one that I finished is Jiggity Jig by Pineberry Lane. This one was a WIP. I purposely, when I worked on this last time, which was, I think, maybe Friday the 13th in September, I purposely just left a little bit of this so that I could, for sure, get one finish this month. So all I had to do when I... So all I had to do when I spun this was this last broom, and I think this witch's legs. Everything else was already done. The next one that I'm calling a finish, this is a start and finish. This is called Full Moon by The Drawn Thread. There is one piece of this that is missing, which there's a little spider charted to be hanging down from this branch, but you need a button for that, and I don't have the button, so I'm calling this a finish for now, and I will just consider the button part of like fully finishing it. And I have not trimmed the fabric down because there are 2 little scissor fobs that come with this chart, and I would like to at some point stitch those as well. Also, I noticed I'm missing one little back stitch that connects the viney thing, which is annoying, but I'll go back and add that at some point. Finish number 3 was Favorite Brew, which is a little freebie from Hands On Design. I did use Kreinik for the little sparkly things coming out of here. So this one I think I started and finished in one day. This next one I did not finish in one day. This is Halloween Pumpkin by Soda Stitch. So yeah, this one is too many stitches for me to finish in one day. So I did pull this out like in the evenings on some of the days that I spun other projects. And yeah, I think it was 4 or 5 different stitchy sessions. But I love how this turned out. I love how 3D the pumpkin looks. And then my next finish for the month was Halloween Tiny Town. This one took me 2 days. I like flew through this. This is one of those projects where everything was flowing well. I would like start working on one of the houses, and before I knew it, it was just done. I think I used the called for this. This is on I haven't been saying what the fabric is. If you want more details on any of these, you can go back and watch my Flosstube extras for October. But yeah, this is 2 strands over 1 on this 14 count. And then I had a quick little finish of Baby Batweed by Noctiflora Designs. My lighting is not good. It's a little bit dark for me to be showing you this today. Super cute. I'm going to make this one into a pillow. And then yesterday, the day before yesterday, my spin was assembly required by ink circles. So this is my other one that was already a WIP coming into this month. And I got it done on the day that I spun it. I posted a picture of this on Instagram with a frame around it, but the frame was just sitting on top. So I am going to fully finish it into that frame at some point. But I haven't done it yet. And this is using the called for variegated DMC on 32 count chalkboard linen. So those were my 7 finishes. Also, if you followed along, since I was working on a different project every day and a lot of them were using the same colors of DMC, I decided to just make one giant DMC ring of all the Halloween colors so I didn't have to keep moving them around or going back to get the same one. And I just wanted to show you what it ended up looking like. Lots of orange and green and brown. There would be black, but I have like a cone of DMC, so I just thought that was fun. So now I get to put all these back into my master set. Okay, I'm going to pause here and I will come back at some point and show you my WIPs. Okay, I am back to show you my WIPs. I did add a light in front of me, so hopefully you can see what I'm showing you a little bit better because it is actively raining now. I worked on 6 Halloween WIPs and 1 non-Halloween WIP that I just felt like working on one day. So these are not going to be in the order that I worked on them, but hopefully that is okay. And again, if you want more information about any of these, you can go back. I'll put the calendar up so you can see which days I worked on them if you want to hear me talk about them more in my short October clips. Okay, so this is Halloween Quaker by Lila Studio. I started this earlier in the year with Erin from Hathaway Stitchers and Cozy Town Stitches on Instagram, and also Alex of Salix Stitches. So when I pulled it out this month, oh yeah, that's better. I got this part done with the skeletons, and I also put the little purple, I think these 3 dark purple little thingies, and the word treat wasn't in there yet. So that was what I worked on this month. This is on 16 count. This is Halloween by Witch's Garden Crafts. And I'm using the called for overdyed floss for this. Another WIP that I brought into the month and worked on for one day is my Monster House. This was a mystery stitch along this year from Satsuma Street. And I already had the first 4 parts done. So I was working on part 5, which is this part. So I filled in this window, I added this little spider, the mummy is new, and I started working on filling in the tower. This is on 28 count Kiwi Linen by Fibron WIP, called for DMC. Another WIP is my Night Rider Stitch Along from Love Poppet. This is a kit that Claire sent me, so I am working on the 32 count even weave that came in the kit. And when I worked on it this month, I finished, I was working in like this area, I finished in the lattice of the moon, and I just briefly started some of these, the gray color in the skyline. This is 2/2 with DMC threads. They were part of the kit too. They're all wound up, but they came on these little floss organizer cards, which are very handy, pre-sorted and everything. Okay, the next WIP I worked on this month was Autumn Dream from Cottage Garden Samplings. I had started this one in September. This one I did my own color conversion, just like close match with what I had in stash, I think. So when I pulled it out this month, I started on the bird. And I think I did a little bit of work in the branches. This is on 40 count vintage country mocha, I think. Okay, I also worked on Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I started this one quite a while ago, but I have not worked on it very many times. I started it with Elizabeth of Savory Sewing, and then lots of people are stitching this. Justine from the Shaky Stitcher is working on it. I had bought 2 copies of this chart, and she won the giveaway for the second one, and so she's stitching this too. Oh, when I worked on this month, I was a little bit grumpy because I'm using the called for overdyes, but mine do not look like the model, and it's causing some issues with the windows being visible. So I was working on this side of the house, and then I started working on this little golden wiggly thing. And then the last Halloween WIP for this month is actually the one that I spun for today. Well, I didn't have to spin. There was the last one left on the wheel, so it's today's project. And I haven't actually worked on it yet today, so I'm going to do that later. But this is Jack's Bash by Plum Street. So like I said, I have not worked on it yet this month technically, but I will work on it today, and here's where it's at. And this is on a 40 count. Something I can't remember the name of. If you want to know, ask me and I will find the name of the color. It's a little bit more pink than it's showing up on the screen. So it's 1 strand over 2. Also with the called for overdyed colors, I believe. Okay. And then one day I just, well, it was because of Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe. Stephanie and Allison did like a Mirabilia WIP and stash parade, and it made me want to work on one, so I pulled out my Scent of Old Roses. So I added her arm that you can see, and then worked on that tan and brown shades in the skirt. So it's just one afternoon or evening that I put away my Halloween project and worked on this for a little bit. Okay, so those are all the WIPs. Everything else that I have worked on this month has been new starts. And I believe there are 21. So let me move my WIPs somewhere else so they don't get mixed up, and then I will show you my new starts. Okay, so new starts, I believe there are 21. I'll double check that number. Most of those are Halloween new starts. I did also start a couple of other things that were not Halloween. Okay, so these are also not going to be in order. The first one I'm going to show you is Field Mouse Hollow by With Thy Needle and Thread. These 2 little mice hanging out, trick-or-treating on the shoe. Super cute. I got a pretty good start on this one. So I did all the green is done. And since this chart is so little and everything is Like there's no like confetti. I'm just trying to color complete as I go. I did pull colors from my stash for this one. So if you're interested in what colors I am using, you could look back at my videos. Okay, I don't want to talk too much about these and take too much time. A, because a lot of you have just watched me talk about these for a whole month, and B, just so this video isn't insanely long. Okay, next new start I have to show you is Silver Creek Samplers Scary Things October Brings. And I just got a little start on this. I think this is a 28 count or 32 count linen. I don't know what it is exactly. And I just pulled colors from stash for this, since it's just like one shade of each different Halloween-y color. Okay, I also started Minerva by Barrick. And here's my start. This is on 40 Count Ancient by Picture This Plus. And it looks really good. I love this start so far, but this was one where I had to frog a bunch of times. I think I might have just had a bad counting day. Like, there's nothing wrong with the chart. It was just it was a me problem. But yeah, this is 1/2 on this 40 count. Excited to work on this one again. This is a lot of stitches though too, since that middle part is like full coverage. Okay. Next I have Witches of Salem by the Primitive Hare. This is my first Primitive Hare stitch, I believe. And I got a pretty good start on this. Just started at the top. Let me see if I know what fabric this is. I took the tag off. I don't remember what this is called. But it is more pink than it looks. It's like sort of like a clay color. Alright, next one I have to show you is the Prairie Schooler Trick or Treat. I started this one with Tracy of OG Stitchery. This one is on 16 count Ada. It's called Kiss from a Rose, and it's from the Sewing Shop. And I got a pretty good start on that one too, I think. So it's 2 over, is it 2? No, I'm doing this 1/1. Because this is 16 count, but I found it to be, it shrunk a bit, so it's pretty tight for a 16. So I'm doing it 1/1. Okay, with the called for DMC. Next I have Return to Earth by Broomsticks and Bobbins. I will put a picture up of what this will look like. And there's my start. It looks good. I like how this one looks on camera in particular. I was a little worried that my colors weren't going to show on this one, but they show up great. So I'm doing this one 2/2. I think this is a 32 count. Okay. Next I have Autumn by the Cricket Collection, or the Cross-Eyed Cricket, I don't know. And I feel like I got a pretty good start on this one too. So the cat still needs its nose and eyes filled in, but the bird is done, A is done, U is started. And I think I'm using the called for DMC for this as well. Next is Spooky Teapot by Tiny Modernist. There's my start. So this pumpkin right here is the center of the chart. So my piece of fabric is too big, but yeah, this is one of the ones that is a little smaller than I thought it would be, which is good. Like, it's fine. I love it. I think it looks great. I love the colors. This is 32 count Nightshade by Under the Sea Fabrics, and I'm doing it 2/2 with the called for DMC. Next we have Grimm's Garden by Sarcy Girl. This is a free chart. And I'm doing this on Middle Earth by Stitch Me. It's a 40 count, so I'm doing it 1/2, and you can see very well here that I had to frog. This was also a bad counting day. Every single one of these swoopy black lines I counted something wrong in, so eventually I had to frog because I needed something that was correct to count off of for the rest of the chart. But I love this fabric. I love this chart. I'm very excited to work more on this one. And this one is interesting for the floss because the designer overdyed some DMC herself for this. So I chose colors from Stash, I think. Alright, next I have Something Wicked by Barbara Anna Designs. And I got a good start on this one too. So the whole outline on that border on the, what side is that? The right side? The outline of the right side border is done, and oops, the cat is almost done. Yeah, happy with that. I don't remember what this fabric is. I feel like it's Cocoa by Fiber on Whim, but I might be lying. It's like tan with a little bit of greeny modeling. Okay, next I have Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. This one I started with Alex of Salix Stitches. And pretty happy with how far I got on this one too. I started working on outlining the blocks. And then at the end of the day, I also wanted to get some motif in there instead of just outline. So I did the moon and the bat that goes in the center with the witches. I'll show you again. So it's just right here. And I wasn't sure about this fabric. When I first started, I thought it might be too busy, but I think it's going to be perfect. It looks really good. Okay, this one's 40 count, 1/2. Called for DMC. Alright, next is Enoch's Paper Moon by Night Spirit Studio. Do I have... There we go. Here's my start on that. This looks so good. I love how this looks already. I love how, I said this already, but the black of the fabric is used as the shading. So I think in the chart it says using any fabric other than black is going to look very weird, and I agree with that for this one. So I'm happy I went with the black Ada. Called for DMC. And I got that one when I was part of Night Spirit Studios Patreon, so I'm not 100% sure if it's available. Next is a freebie from Lindy Stitches called Little Urn of Horrors. And this is on the leftover fabric from my Artsy Housewife Giant Butterflies. I don't know what it's called. It was a mystery linen. So this is a lot of block stitching, but like that urn has a lot of stitches in it. So I actually worked on this 2 different days because I wasn't happy with how far I got. This is one that I thought I would be able to finish relatively quickly, but I was wrong. It's a lot of stitches. Alright, next I have, this is a Tuscan Cardinal chart called You're Dead and Out of This World, based on the show What We Do in the Shadows. And I love how this is looking. I'm so happy with this. I'm happy with how far I got. I love how the colors look. Yeah, I'm excited to work on this again. And I love this show. And I think there's a new season coming out soon. Is that right? I don't know. I hope so. Okay. Okay, this next one is a sad start. This is Bad Vibes Sampler by Bad Vibes Only. You can get it on their Etsy shop. And this is how far I got. So this is a bat in the upper, it's the top right corner. It's part of a bat. And I have these super fun flosses that I had to buy for this. I haven't obviously used any of them yet. This was I don't remember what happened this day, but I think this is my saddest start of the month, but that's alright. That chart has a lot of like, I don't know if you would consider it black work or what, but there's a lot of the designs are just backstitch, so I'm sort of hoping that that will go quickly, but that's probably wishful thinking. Okay, next new start is Vintage Halloween Candy Buckets by the Witchy Stitcher. This one was also a Patreon chart from 2 years ago around Halloween time. I don't think it has been released publicly, but if you are in the Witchy Stitcher's Patreon, you could get it from the vault when she opens that up. And here's my start. I just focused on the 310, so the owl bucket is, the 310 is done, the pumpkin bucket is started, and then there's one more bucket over here that I didn't get to. And this is on 32 count Murky. I'm excited to get back to this one too. Okay, this one, I don't know why this is at the bottom of the pile. This is the first start I had this month on October 1st. This is a Halloween sampler by Crochetta Gogo. I love this grumpy owl. He's my new best friend. I realized this month that I really love stitching owls, so maybe moving forward I will have to make sure that my Halloween charts have owls in them. I don't know. What fabric is this? I don't know. I don't know what this is. You can ask me if you want to know. I'll figure it out. I will be working on this one this month. I have homework. Not really homework. I have a challenge on this piece in particular. So I'll be working on this again tomorrow, probably. And I'm using the Called For DMC for this. I started that along with Natasha of Britches Get Stitches. She did a stitch along. The hashtag is long and I always mix it up, but it's like ravens and owls and cats, oh my, or something like that. I will double check and put it on the screen. And then yesterday's project was the Cranky Owl, maybe that's why they were next to each other, the Cranky Owl by Modern Folk Embroidery. I will put a picture up of what it looks like, and I decided to use this Pirate and Robin Rust color for mine. Rust. And this is one that is bigger than I thought it was. So I started this yesterday and I was like, this looks like it's doable in a day. No, it's 1,400 stitches, which is a lot for one day. I mean, it's like maybe possibly doable if I have like the whole day to myself. But I'm really happy with how this is looking so far. This is on 14 count Ada. It's like rustico or fiddler's cloth or whatever. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do the owl also in this color so he blends in, or have these be the fall leaves and branches and then do the owl in a variegated brown. So we will see when I work on this next. So those are all of my Halloween projects, and then I had 2 new starts that were not Halloween related. I did not open these bags already, sorry. The first one was also on October 1st, and this is because of Wendy, Matrix Stitcher, Stitch in the Matrix. She is doing a stitch along called You Quack Me Up, Sal, and I had this chart, Dale Burdett, Mallard Ducks Walking, that was too perfect not to start it. So I made the decision to start this very late at night on October 1st, and I opened up the chart, and I'm going to show this again. I've already talked about it, but do you see all of these? Do you see all these colors that look roughly the same? They were all just tied up in a knot, and I'm supposed to be able to differentiate those based on the names of the colors, which are like drab brown, medium drab brown, gray brown, brown gray. I don't know. It was ridiculous. And also the colors that I have do not match the model. So this was a rocky start, and it is very small, and this was already taped from the previous owner. So this masking tape it might be from the 80s, I don't know. But here's my start on mallard ducks walking, which is hilarious. The part of the chart that this is supposed to be is that middle duck's back where it looks honey brown here, and mine is this color. And this one I actually pulled the DMC. It gives you the DMC numbers. So I pulled my DMC and used it, and I'm using the correct color, and it is not honey brown at all. So I don't know if the model stitcher did something different, or they changed the chart, or what happened, but I'm really excited to work on this again. Thanks, Wendy. And then Unconventional X Stitch had a house fire, and in support of Jody, I bought some digital charts from her to help support her through that disaster, and I decided to start one of them. So this is Cops. I will put the picture up of what it looks like. And I think I just worked on this for one day. So this is not very exciting to look at, but there's my start on Cops. I am just basically doing a crazy roaming typewriter method with this one. So if you look at the top box up here, I am choosing the colors as I go across that box and just taking the thread as long as I can. And I don't remember if this is 28 or 25 count. I don't feel like I've done enough full coverage to be able to look at it and tell the difference. Obviously using the called for DMC for that. And then there's one more thing that I was going to show you. This is technically a September start, but I started it since the last Flosstube that I filmed, so I'm going to show you. Along with Stephanie and Allison, or I don't know if Allison actually started it. Stephanie did though. I wanted to start something from this new Magical Cross Stitch book from Lindsay Swearingen, who is Tuscan Cardinal, so the same designer as that You're Dead chart that I showed you. And I started the same chart as Stephanie, which is this one. It's Hemlock. And I decided to do mine on this piece of 28 count Malachite by Fiber on a Whim. So yeah, I started this like late at night, I think, also on September 30th. And here's how far I got. I love how this looks. Also excited to get back to this one. I dropped the tag for the fabric. I'll grab it in a second. Okay. So those were all of the projects that I worked on this month, I think. I will look back through my spreadsheet and make sure I didn't miss anything. So it was a very full month. I had a lot of fun. I don't have any regrets yet about how many things I started. I am happy that I was able to finish a handful of them, and I'm going to talk about this in the plans segment that I'm going to splice in here, but I am going to try to keep at least one of those Halloween WIPs in my rotation throughout the year so that I can get a few more finishes before next October. And then I'm going to any place that I have a finish on my calendar that will be open for a new start, or whatever I decide to do next year. Okay, so here I'm going to insert the clip of my planning video that I filmed a couple days ago. Today is October 29th, and my 2-year-old is taking a nap, which he has not been doing reliably lately, so I am trying to take this opportunity to film my November plans. It is unseasonably warm today. We are in the mid-80s in northern Illinois in late October, which is wild. So Cole and I went for a walk around the neighborhood earlier, and it's very windy. There's like 40 mile per hour wind gust today, 40 degree. And yeah, it's warm. So my hair got all crazy, and we're just rolling with it. So I thought I would take you through my plans for November since October is done now, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do once my 31 days of Halloween projects was over. So I pulled together a list of the things that I want to work on, and I'm still going to use the wheel, I think, to decide when to work on each thing. Unless, I wake up one day and really want to work on a particular project, then I'll probably just do that. But I did break down some of my projects into like weekly stitch goals to see if it was reasonable, all the things I have in mind. So I'm going to share with you what I'm planning on doing in November. I'm not, before October, I have not really been much of a planner, so I don't really know how this is going to go. I'm also not super sure what my actual, like, stitch count per month looks like because I don't typically keep track of how many stitches I do if it's not in Pattern Keeper. So I'm sort of taking a stab in the dark. I mean, maybe a little bit of an educated guess. I think what I'm going to share with you today is doable in November, but we'll find out together. So I have a stack of projects that I would like to work on, and I'm just going to go through them and tell you what my goals are on each one. So the first one I have to show you is my Halloween sampler by Crochet Go-Go. And this is one of my new starts from October. I started October 1st. And in one of the Stitchy Zooms that I like to attend, I was given a challenge to get 737 stitches into this project before, I think the deadline is November 10th. Alex, you will have to tell me if that's wrong. But, so this is top priority, is to get 737 stitches into this project. Very excited to work on it again. I might go in and try to put the other owl in because this grumpy owl has a grumpy owl buddy on this side. So, looking forward to working on this again. So that is goal number 1. I did not think about where I was going to put everything. It's been a while since I've had this much to film at once. So, okay, I have a basket over here. After this, I will put all these WIPs in this empty cubby right here. This is where all my Halloween projects were, and they've all been figured out now, so it's empty. So I'll refill that. Okay, so that's goal number 1. My next 2 kind of go together. These are my Carolyn Manning round robin pieces. So this first one is called Buttercream and Blue. Is that right? Yeah, Buttercream and Blue. Okay, so this is Brittany's project, and Brittany did her section, and then Tasha from Britches Get Stitches already did hers, so I get to do the 3rd section on this. And this is on an opalescent Ada. I think it's 14 count, so this one will be hopefully fun to stitch on, and I can do it in hand with the sewing method and zoom along. So I want to try to finish this by the end of November since I did not work on it at all yet. So to do that, I need to do about 650 stitches a week, which should be doable. So this is going to be on the wheel. And then I also have my other round robin piece with the other group that I'm doing. So this is Jamie Cruz's piece. It's called Morning Piece. And I think I showed this on my channel before, but I'll show you again. Jamie is going to finish her section when she gets this back, and I'm not sure right now if she did a top left start or what, but here is what she has done. And I was going to get this started before October, and I did not. So this has the same goal. I want to get it done by the end of November, so I'm going to shoot for 650 stitches a week so that I can have it done by the end of the month and send it on to the next stitcher. Okay. And then I have a goal to finish This is my first ever Carolyn Manning piece. This is called Prairie Wind. So I want to finish this by the end of the year. I have 9,600 stitches left. So my goal is to do 1,200 a week, which sounds like a lot, but this goes really fast since it's all block stitching and it's on 14 count Aida. I can do the sewing method in hand. It goes really fast. I think I worked on this during like a 2-hour Zoom and got 600 and some stitches in, so that seems very doable to me. I'm so excited to have this potentially done by the end of the year. Someone told me recently I could just leave it how it is because it looks good. There is a lot done, but there's still a lot left to go. So that will be on my wheel, and then another goal that I have is for my leap year start, leap day, long dog leap day start. I don't remember what the hashtag is. I started a long dog sampler on leap day this year, and I want to get this to 25% by the end of February so that I can stay on track to get it done in 4 years before the next leap day. So this doesn't, I feel like it doesn't look like I got that far, but I'm more than 10% done. So, did I write down? So by February, I need to get about 4,500 more stitches in here. So that's only 265 stitches a week to get to that goal. So I will leave this on my wheel, but then, like, once I work on it, I'll like disable it for a while because this is the easiest goal to reach right now. But I'm excited to get back to this. I love this outline style with the bold colors. Okay, here's the flosses for that in a big mess. There's like some extra ones. Very pretty. Love the color palette on that. Okay, and then since it's November, there are 2 November events that I would like to participate in. One is Black Sampler November, and I have this chart is just called Black Sampler. It's by Stitches Through the Years. It is a freebie that is still available. So I would like to work on this. It would be very fun if I could finish this. It still has 3,000 stitches left, so I would have to do about 750 a week to get this done by the end of November. So I'm not sure if that will happen, but I want to make sure I at least work on it once or twice in the month. And then the other November event that I would like to participate in is Nora November, which is where you work on designs by Nora Corbett. And I have 2 WIPs started. One of them I worked on in October. It is Scent of Old Roses. I do not have the picture on my copy of this chart, so I will put it up. But I worked on it, I think, just one day this month, and I put in her arm and started working on the brown colors in the skirt. So I would like to work on this sometime in November, so it is on my wheel. I don't have a specific goal other than just get some stitches in. And then the other WIP that I have by Nora Corbett is Shakespeare's Fairies, which I started this month being October. And I just worked on it for one day. I'm using the called for, oh, I didn't say, my Scent of Old Roses is on Nightshade by Under the Sea Fabrics, 32 count. And for this one, I'm using the called for linen, which is called Laurel, I think. And I just was working on one of those orange orbs that looks like a trick-or-treat basket. So I don't even know if this is the right way up. It might go this way. I don't know. But no, I think it's this way. I would like to work on this again in November, so it's on the wheel. And then Allison from Cross Stitch the Globe, I believe, is planning on starting this next piece in November. This is one of the Celtic ladies from Lavender and Lace. It's called Celtic Christmas, and here's the picture of what she looks like. So I'm thinking about also starting her, and then I do have the 4 Celtic ladies for the 4 seasons, and I'm thinking about starting those in their season next year. So I would start spring on like the equinox and then go from there so that I will have all of them going. But I don't have a fabric picked out yet for this. I have like a specific vision of how I want it to look, and I haven't quite found what I wanted yet, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be starting this one. And then since it's Nora November, I thought I would show you the other Mirabilia and Nora Corbett pieces that I have, because I did go through and pick fabrics to go with each one of them. So since it's November, I might feel like starting one or more of these in addition to what I already told you. So we'll see. Maybe like if I hit some of my November goals, I will let myself have a new start. So I do have this Celtic Ladies Winter. Celtic Winter is what she's called. And I got this piece of Frost 32 count from Bestitch Me as my fabric of the month, and I think it's perfect. So I'm going to do her on that at some point. I have Roses of Provence, or Provence, however you want to say it, and I want to do it on this pink fabric, which is 32 count Vintage Rose Lugana, which I think is a Zweigart fabric. I have from the Pixie Couture collection, I have Fern by Nora Corbett, and I do have her beads and Krynic. And I picked out this piece of like sky blue to put her on. And then I have A Midsummer Night's Fairy. Sorry about the glare. And I have this fantastic piece of mystery, I don't know what it is, that I would like to put her on. It pulls out like all the colors in her dress, but I think she'll still show up well, and she'll just be like, you know, a little bit more of a tricksy, blendy in type of a fairy, which I love that for her. This was like one of the ones I got in a D-stash. I don't even know if it's a 32 or 28 count right now, but it's big enough for either way. And then I have Bianca Bella. I think this might be the first Mirabilia that I ever bought. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone stitching her. My vision from her from the start was to have her in like a nighttime scene instead of this white background. So I have this sort of midnight blue. This sort of looks like, I think it's called Mystic by Picture This Plus. Or there's one called Gothic. I don't know, I'm getting them mixed up. But again, this was one that I got that did not have a tag on it, so I don't know what it actually is. But I think that she will be stunning on this. And then I have Fairy Flora, which is much more popular than Bianca Bella. And I want to do her on this opalescent teal color. It's like, it matches with some of the colors in here. So the bottom is outlined, but it would also still sort of fade in to this, and I think she would look stunning. And I think like these pink flowers will look really pretty on here. And then 2 more. I have Angel of the New Dawn. And when I first saw her, I thought that she should be floating in the sky and like a morning sunset. So I found this sort of peachy pink, which just reminds me of like, yeah, a morning sky. And so I want to put her on here. I think she'll look great. Some of the little flowers might be a little bit weird, but I think they'll look good. Okay, this is a fiber on a whim. This is Persimmon. It's a 28 count. So yeah, it's this sort of peachy pink with some more orange, warmer bits. Okay, and then the last one is one that I just showed you, my new fabric that I picked out specifically for Adia the Garden Fairy, and it is Huntress by Picture This Plus. I want to put her on here. So she has some sort of pinky purple shades in, like, in here, and then the flowers, and I think she will pop on here, and I'm so excited. This is like the one I'm the most excited about. So there's a good chance that if I do start a new one in November, it might be her. Or it might be Fern, since that one is a Nora Corbett and not a Mirabilia. Okay, and then, so those were like not really plans, but they're potentially plans for November. And so I was going to show you my wheel. I did make one for November. Make sure I covered everything. Okay, I did. I covered all these things on my wheel. So I put my like weekly goal in there just for my own reference. So if I hit that number in a week, I can disable that segment of the wheel until the following week. And then another sort of plan that I have in mind for just moving forward is to always have one of my Halloween WIPs on the wheel, because I do want to keep working on those so that I can get some of them done and have more open spaces when I get to October next year. So right now Halloween Sampler is on there, but as soon as I get that goal done, I think I'm going to pull one of the smaller ones that's closer to a finish and put it on the wheel so that I can keep all those WIPs that I just started this month moving forward. So I don't know which one that will be yet. If I don't get assembly required done today, this is my call for today. If I don't get this done today, this one might be like a top contender, because it will likely be the closest to a finish. Maybe I'll pop up my calendar from October so you can see which ones are done so far. And then I think that's everything that's like on my radar for November. I also did a WIP parade in the middle of the year this year, where I created a list of the projects I wanted to try to finish by the end of this year. So some of those I have already decided, like, there's no way, it's not happening. But there's a handful of them that I am still trying to finish by the end of the year. So similarly to what I'm going to do with Halloween, if I hit my goal on Prairie Wind by Carolyn Manning, then I will pull another one of those WIPs that I want to finish by the end of the year and put that in its place, or enable it on the wheel or whatever, so that I can keep working towards those goals of getting some of those things done. So that sounds like a lot, but it also feels sort of doable to me. So that is what I'm going to try moving into November, and like I said, we will see together how it goes. Okay, that is all I have for right now. And I realized after I filmed that clip that there is one thing that I forgot to mention, and that is Kyoko Moroka of Gara is doing a series right now. She's been showing these little patterns on her Instagram. They are 12, I think it's 12 different Japanese yokai, which are like monsters from Japanese folklore. The first 4 that she released the chart, and they were free on Instagram. And then as she kept going, she said that she was going to sell them when she was done stitching them. So I'm not sure when those are going to be available, but me and Starkiller X Stitch, I believe is her Instagram. I think that's the whole thing. I know it's Starkiller. We were talking about starting that in November, but that was when we thought they were all going to be free and available to just grab and start working on. There is, like, in the first few, there's an outline of all 12 of them together, so I would like to do all of them on one panel. The designer is also, she's stitching them individually and making them into little, they're like little pouches that you can stick like candy in, or other little trinkets. But yeah, I think I would like to do them all together on one, but we're not sure when they're going to be all available, so I'm not sure when we're going to start them. I don't know how much they're going to be to purchase, so it's possible that I might just do the first 4, but I would really like to do all 12 of them. So that is another plan that I forgot to mention in my plans video. Aside from that, it was brought to my attention by an enabling friend, that I'm very close to having 100 starts this year. So as it stands today, I have 81 new starts. And I'm sort of thinking about maybe doing something in December similar to what I did in October, like 12 days of Christmas, but throughout the month of December, not starting them when the 12 days usually starts. So I would add 12 new starts that way, and then maybe in November starting some of my Mirabilia charts for November to get to that 100 mark. So this feels simultaneously like an awesome, fantastic idea to me, and also like a terrible, horrible idea, because I just started so many things and now I'm already like, let's just do 19 more. So let me know what you think about that. Would you be interested in another vlog style December? I feel like the answer is going to be yes. Do you think that that's too much? I have finished, I don't know what the exact number is. I've finished more than 30 things this year. So obviously that's adding a lot to my WIP count if I start 80 and finish 30. But a lot of them are smalls that I, like they shouldn't hang out too long. A lot of them are big though. So I'm thinking about that. I'm trying to decide how crazy I want to be. So let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear what you think. And sorry I'm blocking Bear. He's so cozy. And I'm surprised I got to film this mostly all in one chunk. So I'm going to try to get this edited and uploaded today on Halloween. That way you know my plans for November before November starts, if you watch it tonight, which it's Halloween, so maybe not. But I will feel good about it. And I can tell you, yesterday is the first day this month that I did not film a clip, because I had already spun for yesterday and I knew what today's project was, so I didn't need to film yesterday. Also, between my kids, we had 4 different appointments to take them to yesterday. There was a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment, a speech therapy, and occupational therapy. So yesterday was crazy and a good day to not film, but it feels weird not to. So, yeah, I'm taking the wheel with me into November. I am going to start tomorrow working on the Halloween sampler from Crochet to Go, so I can try to, I can, try to meet Alex's challenge that I mentioned. But after I get that done, I think I'm going to spin the wheel to figure out what to work on next. So if I do start spinning the wheel, maybe I'll film those clips and see what I come up with. Okay, so I've said this a couple times already, but thank you so much for watching. When I started filming this video, I had 1,998 subscribers on YouTube, which means we're almost at 2,000, which is also exciting. So I will have to come up with something fun to do for that. And yeah, that's crazy to me. I mean, everyone says this, but when I filmed my first Flosstube, I thought maybe 50 people would watch it. So I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching and supporting me and chatting with me and finding me on Instagram. I have had a ton of fun. I'm excited to keep going with the channel. Looking forward to see how many of my goals I can reach by the end of the year. And yeah, happy Halloween. Take care.